Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M10 RBFM. It's a Tier 5 French premium tank destroyer. It's located on the northeast border of Arctic region and it's under the command of comfortably num one. Now this French tank destroyer has the M7 3-inch gun. It's capable of 115 alpha, and with the standard rounds it will go through 113mm of armour, and with the premium rounds it will go through 170mm. And well, comfortably num one has loaded the premium rounds right from the start. Now the tank destroyer is based on the hull of the M4A2, so it's got a welded hull, and they actually thin the armour to make it easier for this thing to move about. It's got the General Motors 6046 series tandem diesel engine, which means that it's got two diesel engines working together on a single crankshaft, but they can be disconnected so you can use them independently. Okay, AMX 1357 in the distance, and the Panzer Mark IV in front of us keeps moving about, and in fact he's sitting the other side of the hedge, which means he's in full view of the enemy and they've taken him out. Oh, that was a complete waste. I think he's a bit of a noob. I'm pretty sure he's the other side of the bush. I don't think he understands what the bush mechanic means. Well, comfortably num one's locked onto the P43 Turlin's auto aim. And he's putting forward to take a shot when he's gone unspotted. And he's getting some nice damage. And he's got his first kill. Now the Americans built 6,406 M10s, but only 36 of them were actually given to the French. Or I say given to the French, they were lent lease to the French. And they were given to the French forces, and they actually ended up with naval gun sights to make it easier for the French gunners to hit targets a long way away, because a lot of the French gunners, well, they were fighting in France for the first time on French soil. Now he saw that AMX 1357, it looks like he's going to fire at the bushes, and he's using premium ammo to do it, and all he's doing is kicking up dirt, because every time he fires in there's a cloud of dust behind, which indicates he didn't hit anything. Yeah, that's a lot of wasted ammunition there. Oh dear. And he could have done that with standard AP, because the AMX 1357 has very thin armour. It gets one round into a Panzer IV, a Jagdpanzer IV, and there's a Panzer IV H Anku there, which is the Gilson Panzer tank. And that shell is probably still lodged in their armour, and they're probably screaming in their squeaky little voices, Japanese voices at this moment. You know what I don't understand about the Japanese is their fascination with little girls wearing naval uniform. It seems very, very strange. Especially the way they talk in squeaky voices. I suppose what's even stranger is the way that some girls react in Japan when you're being amorous with them. The less said about that, the better. Anyway, there's nobody guarding the south now, because all the tanks that went south have got wiped out. Yeah, I think I said too much there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, the guys are moving back to the cap and the enemy's following us. There's a Panzer IV Ausführung H and that Anku following. And there's a KD-1 and a T-34-85 to the south. We're down by two tanks at the moment. One of those T-34, oh, the T-34 is a one-shot. He's only got one hit point left. Trying to get a shot in this KD-1. He's still using the premium ammo, which is going to cost him at the end of the game. I'd be more worried about the tanks coming in from the west, not these ones. One of the tanks coming in from the west is an AMX 1357, the one you were firing at. Yep, there he is. And he gets around into the KB1's turret. And another. Can he get the kill? No. Another. Yes, he gets it at last, so he's now got 2 kills. But whilst he's sitting here, yep, the enemy is coming in. He's locked onto the VK3001H. And he's been spotted, so he has to pull back. We're running out of teammates, and we are being outnumbered. With 3 tanks down on the enemy. Here comes the AMX 1357. Now, they're very efficient at clipping out enemy tanks, but he gets clipped instead, and that's the 3rd kill. But we were spotted, so enemy Arty might be flying in any second. And company number 1 needs to get to a new firing position. They just killed the VK3001H, so we've got no more tanks coming in from the west as far as we're aware. Yeah, that was the AMX 13AM, the Tier 5 French STG. He gets 1 round into the Type 4, Type 64 rather. Okay, now that Type 64 didn't go away. He's still there, and he's just spotting him at the moment. He's got a patrol duty potentially. Can he get the kill? No, the Arty gets the kill, so he gets the spotting. Okay, there's only 1 other tank left with him, the T-52, and they've got 1 Arty left, the SU-8. The enemy team have got an SU-85 and 3 Artys, but we don't know where the SU-85 is. Decided to try and locate the SU-85. Normally the best way to do this is actually to move from bush to bush and wait till you see or hear the 6 cents go off, and then you know you found him. He doesn't appear to be down there, but he could be out of sight at the moment. No 6 cents gone off, so he's not up on the heights. And he's not to the north, because they might have spotted him from the north. The SU-8's decided to go up on the mouse, the lookout. He won't see very far, because he really hasn't got the view range. He's relying on comfortably number 1 and T-52 to spot the enemy Arty force, or spot the enemy tank force. Nope, still not seen him. Move on. The SU-8 has put himself in a bit of a cul-de-sac there. If he stays where he is, it could be easy for the enemy to kill, because he's standing out quite, well, plainly and blatantly. Is he in that bush? No. The SU-8's come down from his lookout. He really needs to find a bush to hide in. He's found the SU-85! He is over by the cap area, and I'm not sure that Company Number 1's seen that on the minimap. He has now! Now he's just trying to make up his mind. What's he going to do? Is he going to go back? The T-52 will probably go to find the enemy Arty. Well, our SU-8 has been wiped out, so there's not a lot we can do by going back except to reset the cap. And the T-52 can quickly get back even if he needs to. Is he going to go over here and find the Arty, or is he going to change around and go back? Well, the T-52 is going back, and he's very low on hit points, so Company Number 1 needs to get back as well. In fact, the SU-8 says killed Arty and cap. I think he actually meant kill the enemy Arty and cap. Now, the M10 RBFM is one of the few tank destroyers that could reasonably be turned into an Arty, because it actually did have an azimuth indicator and a gunner's quadrant, which means it's one of those Arty which we have suggested to wargames, or one of those tank destroyers that could be used or converted into Arty if it can qualify on the particular module that's necessary to turn it into a tank, to an indirect fire Arty. Well, it looks to me like Company Nun's trying to gain a bit of gun depression or gun elevation to shoot that Su-85. Unfortunately, it didn't work and we lost the T-52, so he's now all alone. It was a smart move to try and split the forces and T-52 to come in from the other side, because if they both moved forward together at the same time, he might have been able to catch him in the crossfire. But now it's all on Comfortably Numb One to actually find the Su-85 and the enemy Arty, and they're running out of time. They've only got 4 minutes 15 seconds left, so he's decided to move up and use the bush. And ideally what he needs to do here is sit in the bush, which is what he's doing, and wait for the enemy Su-85 to come out. He's got to start capping sooner or later. Now, when he does come out of his hiding place, he'll probably get his sixth sense going off straight away, which should set the alarm bells ringing, but there's not a lot he can do once he comes out. There he is! Okay, so Company Numb One pulls back to use the bush mechanic, gets the first shot in, tries to go for the second one, misses, gets the third one in, and kill shot. Yes! Okay, so he's got rid of them, and the M44's beside us. He's actually just over to the to our left, and well, that was one of the other Arties firing around him, which just exploded a short distance away. So we've got an M10 there, and that's two other Arties. There's an AMX-13AM and a VP, the 105 FH-18V2. So he's trying to reacquire the M44. You can't see him. I think he's stuck below the ridgeline, but here comes the VP and the AMX-1357. They both tried to propel themselves towards the cap area, and looks like the AMX-1357 went over one of the rocks and it propelled him into the sky. So he's pulling back to use the bush mechanic, and one more shot to kill, and he gets this kill. That's 5 kills. If he can kill the VP, he will end up with a top gun. That's 1. Go for the gun shield. 2. And yes, 3rd. So he's got a Pascucci's, and he's also got a top gun. And potentially he's got a high caliber as well. There's only one enemy left. It's the M44, and he's just spotted him to the south. I think he's going to try and pull back, use the bush mechanic on him as well. Firing into the corner of the vehicle. One more to kill and win the game. Yes! A Demetrius medal instead of Pascucci's, and he's won the game for his team. Well done, Comfortably Numb One. And here's the end of battle results, and it was an ace tanker for Comfortably Numb One in the M10 RBFM. Not only an ace tanker, but also his second mark of excellence in this vehicle, so he's up to 85%. He also managed to get a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly, and he got a couple of epic medals in that game. He got a Demetrius medal for killing 3 enemy RT in the game. He also picked up a Halonen's medal for killing 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers with the tank destroyer in one battle, and he had to be at least 2 tiers higher, so that's quite a difficult one to get. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and he also got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. He ended up on 7 in the end. He couldn't get a Radlis because there wasn't enough enemy tanks left, but his win rate was 11,282, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see him at the top of the table with 2,376 hit points. The next highest scorer was the T28 HDC, where he never saw. He managed to get 1,927 hit points, and the third highest damage was that VP, who on the enemy team, he got 1,527. When it came to kills, he had the top on that as well with 7 kills. 3 kills went to the T52 on his own team and to the T28 HTC. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got the top in that one, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,598 base experience points to comfortably number 1. 1,002 went to the T52 on his own team, so those are the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000. And the next highest player was the SU8, who did pick up a Confederate and 771 base XP, so it's quite a big gap between those 3. So let's have a look at the detail report. He fired 40 rounds in that game, got 26 direct hits and 24 penetrations. He did fire far too much APCR towards the start of the game, and maybe he needs to consider actually firing standard AP in future and only switching to APCR if he gets a very difficult target to take down. 2,376 hit points of damage, of which 454 were at more than 300 meters. He spotted 3 enemy vehicles. Well, actually, he did receive 1 hit by way of splash damage. I missed that out. That was, I think, one of the Arty. Don't know which one it was, but I would suspect it was probably the Fifi. He also... Oh, no, actually, no. I tell a lie. He did get hit by splash damage from the AMX-13AM earlier in the game. It wasn't the Fifi. Yes, while he was changing positions, he got hit by the Arty. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 7 were killed, and 753 hit points of spotting assist or damage assist in that game. On a premium count, he earned 70,776 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away a profit of 7,257 credits. If he'd actually been on standard free-to-play account, he would have made a loss, and the reason why was the ammunition. He blew all his premium ammo virtually at the start when he didn't need to, and he fired most of it into the ground. Needlessly, because he was kicking up snow, and you could see that every time he fired a round in, there was a big puff of snow at the other end, showing that he hadn't hit anything. So I think, yes, he definitely needs to control his ammunition and only fire standard ammo if he can. 2,397 XP, 959 for this being a premium vehicle, and took away 3,356 experience points altogether. He says bottom tier carry in the M10 RBFM. Yes, it was a bottom tier carry, but I think you really do need to control what sort of ammo you're firing, otherwise it's going to be very expensive for you in future. It was great that you got the Dimitrius and you got the Halonans. Any of those Arties could have taken you out if they planted a round right into your cockpit, because many's the time I've taken out an M10 RBFM by an accurate shot that hits the vehicle, goes straight through the armour and takes them apart. But he managed to stay alive, and he used the bush mechanic very well to actually take down the opponents. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.